Guys and girls, so I was working on the IS300 door panel, and my son calls me, said something's going on with the front of his car, and so I happen to have the rollback here with me and everything, so I go down and pick him up, and this is what we got. The entire control arm, the kit has pulled out. So I got to get it in the shop, see what's going on. It pulled the bolts out, for sure, I did see that. But when we first took this kit to the track, we brought it back and I tightened that side. For some reason that side was loose. Alright, so with this kit, evidently it's pulled the bolts out of it, so I don't know what's going on here. I have to try to figure out how to get it off the lift, or off the rollback onto the lift. I think I got an idea with the jack and stuff to get it under it and try to jack it up, and I think I can shuffle it off, but it's already destroyed that fender. But both of the bolts pulled out of the bottom of the spindle, so I don't know. We'll get it off this thing and off the rollback. It'll take me a little bit to do that, and we'll kind of look at it and kind of assess what's happened here. But it makes me nervous, my son driving this car and that come apart, so kind of scared me a little bit. But alright, we'll get it off this trailer or off this rollback, and we'll get it set in the shop and see what we can figure out. Alright, here we go. So this is what I found. Went to go collect my son, and that whole wheel's come off. So that's what I'm dealing with. And yeah, so needless to say, it doesn't look good. Let me get this thing, try to figure out how to get it off of here and try not to destroy more than it already is. Alright, here we go. Alright, so I'm about done for the day. I got the rollback out here running. I got it moved up to load everything that need loaded and unload stuff that need unloaded. Well, what I've come up with, if you can see, there's a bolt I put in right there. And that bolt's way too long, but I was sizing it up. And you can see it's probably about a ½ inch difference that it needs to pull up. Well, these are the bolts that are in it, and this is the bolt that's in there. So, and it's got a ½ inch difference, so let's deduct a ½ inch or so, we'll call it that. That bolt's about that much too short. So I think that's what our culprit was. Pretty sure it's at least that short. So what I'm going to do, because one side did this, the other side I'm going to go ahead and get bolts for it and go ahead and change it out too. So might as well and just make sure it's got longer bolts. I didn't know that it's supposed to have longer bolts or not. I didn't know. I don't know. I was unaware. Literally new tires, and that's string showing right there. Drifting gets expensive. Alright, so on the Civic, got it running, and number 2 cylinder had a miss in it. I could pull the plug and it didn't change anything. I thought, well, this thing's got a bent valve. Well, it don't have a bent valve, luckily. This injector plug on the cylinder don't have a clip, and it was loose, so I don't have to pull the head back off. But still do have to do the timing set, which I normally do the timing set anyway, but this guy lied to me about the car. I just wanted to get the head on, make sure the car ran, so I slipped the timing belt off, just slipped it back on without having to change everything. And now that I know the motor's good, everything's running as it should, now I'll change the timing set because the water pump's bad. Go ahead and do that. The Subaru Outback, I got the door panel off. Literally all it needs is the handle, the little plastic handle itself. It just got 2 wires that clip on it, just bolts to the door. When the door panel goes on, it goes on. So that's an easy fix. Yeah, and on the IS300, probably still got food on my face. Right here, I end up having to put, I'm gonna have to tap new holes all the way through, from even through the billet piece into the bottom of the spindle, and put new bolts in it, and I think that'll be our fix there. So productive day. I gotta go haul a car. I got another car guy. I'm gonna finally go pick it up. Been kind of gathering some of the stuff up, get it all in one location, and I'm gonna go get it. So I'm gonna early out. I call it early out. It's 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the afternoon. That's early for me, but yeah, I'll get everything changed around, get the G35 pulled back in, shop closed up, and I'll run and get that car. And once we get all these other ones, we may have another car to work on. All right, here we go. All right, so what I ended up doing, if I can find it, I ended up getting a 1/2-inch tap and 2 1/2-inch bolts, and let me find the original one. I think this might be the original bolt that was in it. It's hard to see that thing, but it pulled the threads up off of it. This might not be it, but I think so. All right, so what I found was that this bolt I ended up getting a 1/2-inch longer bolt, and it pulled up, it bottomed out. I did put a lock washer on them and blue Loctite so I can get it loose. But if you can see, it's kind of dark, but right there, let me get the light on. Alright, so right there, I did go with a grade 8 bolt with the lock washer, and that's a 1/2-inch longer, and you can see it locked on. So that's a 1/2-inch longer bolt. And so it's 1/2-inch longer, and I think that bolt in diameter was 1/2-inch. So I did use a bigger bolt, grade 8, so I used a stronger bolt, and I think they're only in standard size. I'm not sure if they make a grade 8 in a metric, but I got the tap. I went ahead and I ended up having to cut the inside of the billet just a hair, and the little, whatever you call it, the little ring, it makes it where they don't shear them off. But yeah, I ended up having to kind of force it through that. The billet, I had to kind of round it out enough. I took the tap and just pretty much tapped it, and as I started pulling up tight on the top piece, it kind of just rounded out the aluminum on that hardened bolt. So pulled up tight. I'm confident in it now. So it probably could have been maybe 3/8 longer bolt, but with that lock washer, that gave me that extra thickness, so I didn't end up bottoming out the bolt. So I think if it just went straight a 1/2-inch, it's possible. And it busted her boot open, but that thick of a lock washer, if it didn't go with that thick of a lock washer, I believe it would probably bottom out before it got tight. So I actually used a pretty thick lock washer, probably maybe a 1/4 inch or so. So I don't think it's quite that, maybe a 1/16. So with this actual kit, I think if if I was to do it over, I would have just got a 1/2 inch longer bolt to start with, so at least a 1/4 inch overall length, and then a lock washer to keep it from backing out. But that one, we had to tighten that one twice. I even Loctite them and everything after the first time they got loose. I'm not going to throw any blame on it. I mean, I'll accept responsibility because the other side's not doing it. If I did something wrong, I don't know what. Everything tightened up. I put the blue Loctite on it. I didn't, however, use a lock washer, but had I used a lock washer, it would have been way too short. So it's kind of borderline, the bolt was too short, but the other side hasn't done it. I don't know if it's not been stressed as much. I don't know if I've done something incorrect. Nothing stripped, I didn't over tighten anything. I run it up, it tightened. You know, I tighten bolts all day. I can't, and you know if you strip something out, you know if you did something wrong. I don't know that I've stripped anything out or anything. I don't feel like I did. I may have been borderline or something when I was tightening it. Tightened it by hand, not a tool. Like I say, Loctite it, blue Loctite. I don't think I did the first time, but I know I did the second time. And by not doing it the first time, it's possible that it may have just got loose, and with it being loose, it may have kind of shuffled around and damaged threads. It's possible, so it could be my fault. I mean, I'll accept the responsibility of that. But either way, adding the 1/2 inch bolts with the extra length and a lock washer and Loctite, confident in it now that there's not going to be any issues. I'm confident that this thing will stay together. So that was the fix for this. I didn't do the other side. Like I say, everything still feels tight. It hadn't loosened up since day one, but this one had loosened up once already, so it's probably on me. So either way, got her fixed. I think that's our remedy. All right, here we go.
I'm feeling high.